Do not confuse this with treatment or mental health advice or direction. Nothing on this podcast is made to supplement or supersede the relationship and direction of your mental health caretakers. Although David Kozlowski is a licensed marriage and family therapist, he is not functioning as a certified mental health professional in this environment. And same applies to any professional who may appear on the OG Therapy podcast. Welcome to the OG Therapy.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of OG Therapy, and today's episode is going to be about back to school. More specifically, if you got a kid that's anywhere from kindergarten to 6th grade, so if your kid is in elementary school, then pay close attention because next week we'll be talking about back to school tips for teenagers. So for all you moms and dads out there, the numero uno, the most important or mucho importante is, well, let me give you a little hint. Starts with S and ends with Oshel. That's right. The guy that has the podcast that talks about social health all the time just randomly picked social as the most important thing you want to focus on for your kids going back to school. Luckily for me, I got a lot of research, got over 25 years of experience to back that up, and I think most of you parents will agree with me. Here's the way I explain this to everybody. When I have clients, I will have a diverse group of clients, and I'm talking about them as people, their cultural backgrounds, their religion, their political beliefs. But I always tell people that come to me and we talk about going back to school, I simply remind them of a simple truth. Whether you're black, white, Asian, Catholic, Mormon, straight, gay, lesbian, whatever your political views, whatever your gender is, whatever, your religious views are, all those types of people drop their kids off at the same school that first day in the morning. When you in the line, you'll have some big lifted trucks, maybe like, a couple camo hunting stickers on it. At least out here in Utah, you do. Then you get like the fancy Escalades pulling up. Then you get, the regular just Honda Civics and the basic regular cars. And you get a lot of different personality types. You get a lot of different people. And so when different people, different personality types, different cultures, different backgrounds are all dropping their kids off at the same place, there's not like a drop-off line like, hey, all the Mormons, you drop off your kids here, Catholics here, if you're conservative here, liberal here. That's not how you drop off your kids. You can't be like, hey, here's the liberal teacher, there's the conservative teacher. It doesn't work like that. It's pretty fair game. You drop off your kids and you hope they get a teacher that likes them. You hope they like their teacher. When you drop your kids off on the first day of school, you're not thinking about like, oh, I hope they do good on that pop math quiz that they may get on the first day of school. You're thinking, you hope they make friends. You hope that they don't get bullied. You hope that they don't bully someone if maybe your kid's the bully. You guys get what I'm saying? There's this place called school where they all go in this big melting pot and they've got to find their way. They've got to find who their friends are going to be. Maybe they find a friend that comes from an activity that they did in class and they go, oh, you like that? I like that. We have something in common. Maybe they have a t-shirt that they wear that shows that, they're into the same thing their friends are. Maybe they're a pair of shoes that look similar. They're all trying to find connections. And for those of you parents that may be a little hesitant on what I'm saying right now, think about how you met kids back in the day when you're in even middle school, sometimes even in elementary school. You'll meet a kid and let's say it's a family get together. Your family and their family are together. And the first thing you say is, oh, what school do you go to? And let's say your kid says, oh, I go to Lincoln Elementary School or, Washington Middle School, whatever it may be. And they go, oh, you do? Do you know so-and-so? The first thing you do is you try to make a connection. We don't have to think about that. Our brains just know if you know someone that goes to that school, you're going to ask them, do they know that person? If they know that person, then now that connection they just formed in that conversation gave them something they can relate to, gave them a talking point. It doesn't make the conversation fall flat. So yes, I want you guys to encourage your kids to be way more social than they have ever been before. I want you to make deals with them. I want you to bribe them. I want you to bargain with them. I want you to find a way, whatever your kid is into, to wave a little carrot, and that carrot may come in the form of something that's not super social, like in a video game, or it may, some sort of toy or prize. I've had parents that I've worked with. I did not tell them to do this, but it worked, so I'll share it with you. I've had parents that have told their kids if they can get, and granted, I think these kids were like fifth, sixth grade, said the first week of school, if they can get two or three kids that they're friends with the year before to agree to hang out that first weekend, or if they go hang out that friend's house, or if they get them to come over to their house, meet up at a park or something, to get those kids to go and get three friends, two, three friends to do something with that first weekend, then they will give them some sort of reward or prize. I've had other parents take it a little step further and they say, okay, if you can meet X amount of new kids that you've never met before, you can find out three things about those kids. It could be like, what's their favorite color? What's something they're into? They usually come up with these types of questions, ask the kids, what did they do that summer? And then come back and report that information to the parents. Then the parents will give them something for that as well. I don't need to give you guys any more examples. You guys can come up with some of your own examples, but I want you to challenge your kids to be more social. If you haven't listened to my episode that is called The Smile Experiment, I can't recall exactly what episode it was. Just go search The Smile Experiment inside my episodes. I did an episode that breaks down exactly how kids can go out and make more new friends in 2 weeks than they've done the entire year before. It works 100% of the time, as long as the students, or as long as my clients or whoever I tell to do this, follow the different steps. Basically, the steps are very simple. Step one, you got to practice look in the mirror as you smile. Or a better way is to take your cell phone, flip it around so you just see the back of your phone so you can only see the camera. Turn on airplane mode, just press record, and pretend to say things like you would say when you just meet someone out in public, or first day of school. That's a good example. So pretend you're sitting down next to someone at first day of school and you say, hey, my name's David. What's your name? Or, hey, good to see you. Haven't seen you all summer. What did you do this summer? Just how to greet someone, how to say what's up to someone, meet someone new, but you have to do it while you're smiling. The reason why I tell people they have to look in the mirror or they have to record it and watch the recording later is because the camera or the video camera never lies. If you're watching yourself smiling at someone and your smile looks super awkward, maybe you're staring at the ground and you don't really show the smile in a way that makes people feel comfortable. And if it doesn't make them feel comfortable, it's going to be off-putting, or something's going to be awkward about it, and it's not going to land with them very well. You're not going to get the reaction response back from them. So that's why you got to practice it in the mirror. And if you record it, you can look at it and go, oh my gosh, that's horrible. Record it again, the second time. Oh, that's a little bit better. Basically, you want your smile to be comfortable and relaxing. Another thing, you don't want your smile to have your eyebrows really high and be over exaggerated. We all know when we see someone do a fake smile. If you're an older person, imagine those glamour shots that they used to take in the mall where like two girls put their cheeks together, they go, oh my gosh, and they smile real big. If you're a younger person, just imagine someone doing a cheesy selfie with their friend when they're hanging out, they put their cheeks together and this big, huge, gigantic smile. It's super fake. No one smiles like that. It's just a picture smile, right? So you want to make sure that you don't give out that type of smile. Then after you figure out like a comfortable, more relaxed version of your smile, then all you have to do is mentally envision that in your mind and practice it over and over and over again. Look in the mirror and say, hey, how you doing? Hey, how's it going? If you want to ask a girl out on a date, or if you want to talk to a guy that you think is cute, whatever it may be, practice it in the mirror and on your phone while you're smiling, and then record. Well, definitely do it on your phone if you're a younger person, but look at it and see how it looks. You will know, your brain will know if your smile sucks or if it's a good smile, or if it needs some sort of improvement. Once your brain figures that out, it's going to tell you how to make those changes, record it a couple more times, you got the perfect smile. Then the third step, to go out and practice it in your day-to-day life before you even get to school. Practice it at a restaurant with the waiter, with the hostess. Practice at a grocery store with older people, younger people, little kids. If a little kid's lost at Walmart, I don't know where my parent is, smile at them and go, hey, it's okay. Like, it's right. I'm here to help. Because no one's going to yell and be mad at a little kid if they're, lost in a grocery store. If an old lady asks you for help with their groceries, say, oh yeah, no problem. I'd be happy to help you. You're not going to be mean or not smiling. So in all these social interactions, have your kids practice this multiple times before they get to school. Then when they get to school, the next step, everyone they sit around in their class, these are the people you want them to try to get to meet, try to get to know. Now they're going to come back to you and say, I don't know, I sat around a bunch of weird kids. By the way, I did this with my son last year. He met a bunch of kids in his class that he didn't know before, all the new kids he made friends with. The kids that he didn't really want to do this so much with, a couple of the kids that he's known for a long time, they're really annoying. These kids have, you know, challenges. I'm pretty sure the teacher and everybody else in the class thinks they're annoying. Not bad kids, just have, some social challenges, some other issues. And so those are the kids where he didn't really do well with this, but he did meet new kids. And because he met new kids, he got new friends. One of his best friends he met doing this. So it's a great way for them to get to know new people and to check in with people they have not talked in a long time. So this is my number one key component that I want you guys to encourage your kids to do is with friends in the social category. However, social extends past friends. I also want your kids to get to know their teacher and the administrators and the school aides, the people who are out on the playground. If your kid can get to know a couple of the school aides, get to know some things about them as well, that's another huge advantage. The school aides, when something goes down and there's trouble amuck on the playground, if your kid has got a good relationship with the school aide is less likely to come in and to assume that your kid had something to do with it. The school aide's more likely to come in, ask your kid, hey, what's going on? What's happening? Just having that relationship with a school aide can really pay huge dividends in your kid's life because the school aides are there to do just that. They're there to aid. They're there to help out. The teachers, that's a no-brainer. You want your kid to get to know the teacher really well. There's lots of cool hacks. You can even use AI. What are some hacks to get your teacher to like you? What are some hacks to get to know your teacher better? The only one I'm going to give you guys here right now, use your smile. Don't be dead behind the eyes. Show facial expressions. And when you need help with something, don't wait to the last minute. Ask your teacher for help. At the end of the quarter or at the end of the time, if you ask your teacher for help then and you've been quiet and shy the whole entire time, your teacher will help you, but is not as likely to jump through as many hoops and go out of their way to help you. The teachers, I know because I'm a teacher, the teachers that help the kids the most, even at the elementary school age, are the elementary school teachers that say, hey, what's up, Mrs. Johnson? Hey, what's up, Mr. So-and-so? Like, how's your day? Tell your kids to greet the teachers, to greet the administration with a big smile, get to know the principal, smile and greet everybody. What you look like, you could be the most intimidating looking kid in the whole entire school, but a smile makes you very inviting. Your gender, your race, the way you dress is not relevant when you smile. When you smile, it breaks down all the barriers. Well, it has the potential to break down barriers. If someone is ignorant or racist or whatever, they're still going to be that way, but it's not going to be as much with you because if someone has a good connection with you, then you're the person that might be the exception to the rule with them. This is not likely going to happen with elementary age kids. Usually the high schooler kids, they get to be, kind of treated a little bit differently by some of the older people because older people sometimes have less patience with teenagers than they would have with younger kids. So the smile has to be used with friends and also the people that work at the school. And I should add this, the janitor, the custodians. If you make friends with the custodian, the janitors, the people that make things happen, my son got a whole bunch they play these wall ball games. He got the janitor guy, the guy there at the school, a whole bunch of these balls were up on the roof, and they said, sorry, they're up there, we're not getting them down for you. He was so cool to the guy, and I think he brought the guy a candy bar, and then one day my son, he's almost getting too good at this, he goes, hey, by any chance, I know you said you're not going to go to the wall to get the balls off the ceiling until I think Christmas time, or I forget what it was. He goes, but could you possibly, if you have a chance, could you do it? The guy said, yeah, I'll do it for you, Tavita. And later on that week, he did it, brought down like 60 balls. My son got all of his balls back, and all the kids were like, How did he do that? Like, the guy said he wasn't going to do it. Nobody knew why he did it, but my son knew why, because my son built a relationship with him and got him to do that. That was a huge win for my son. Any kid, any teenager for that matter, but specifically because we're talking about kids, any kid that gets that experience of knowing that an adult would do something just for them because the adult likes them because they did something that garnished or deserved the adult to like them, that is a very powerful feeling. The definition of the word power in between people, human beings, is one's ability to influence another human being. Now, there's lots of ways that our kids can influence people. Maybe your kid's just really good at math and your teacher's so impressed that they're good at math that they get favored. Maybe the kid's so good at sports that the teachers hear about how great they are in sports and that teacher is into sports and they favor them. But you don't have to be good at sports. You don't have to be good at math to be cool. I want your kids to go back to school knowing that they're going to have to take some social risks. If they've been staring at a screen most of the summer, if they've been staring at, any devices a lot, even more than you want them to, and you just see that it's taking a lot of their time and attention, then I can guarantee you one thing they have not gotten great at, and that's expressing their feelings, their emotions in their facial expressions. And when people talk to them, giving proper and appropriate facial expressions and body language back to show that they're engaged in the conversation. This happens now, you guys. It does not happen in teenage years. In fact, if your kids don't learn how to do this from K through 6th grade, middle school is going to be way harder. They're going to isolate themselves, or they're going to do the opposite of isolating themselves, because kids that isolate themselves are playing it safe. Kids that become more outspoken, more rowdy, those are the kids that are saying, hey, if no one's going to listen to me, I'm going to get attention. And a lot of people, you guys know the saying, bad attention is still attention. So some kids will resort to just getting bad attention because it's the only type of attention they can get. It's better than not being noticed at all. So you guys, those are my tips. As you can tell, they're all social tips. They all revolve around having your kids connect with peers, administrators, people working at the building, the facility. And the reason why it's so important for them to get good relationships in their family, in their classroom, in the administrator's office, outside in the playground, outside in the parking lot, just with people who are doing the drive-through and the pick up and drop off. If they have good relationships with everybody there, guess what that school is going to emulate and feel a whole lot more like? Their school. There's going to be ownership. It's going to feel like part of their own life. I have too many kids that say they hate their school. And I ask them, why do you hate their school? They don't say, because they teach math. Everybody teaches math. So why do they hate their school? Because the relationships have not panned out the way they wanted them to. Sometimes they're mistreated. Sometimes they're bullied. Sometimes they're treated bad. And other times, your kid offers nothing in the connection category. They're not doing anything for their peers. They're not doing anything for the school. So if you're not contributing to your school, you're not contributing to the teacher, you're not contributing to your friends, if you're not making other people's lives around you better, what are you doing there? What's your purpose? Well, I can tell you they're left feeling where they don't have a purpose. So if they don't have a purpose, they don't have a voice. It's not up to them to speak up. So they're most likely to keep their thoughts, their feelings, their opinions themselves, less likely to take risks. Oh yeah, and if you guys know that, all the statistics about teenagers right now in America say that they're less likely to get their driver's license 16 years old. They're less likely to start dating until they're later, and they're less likely to start moving out of their parents' house until way into their adulthood years. And the reason why they're less likely to do those things is they didn't feel comfortable at an early age doing a lot of those small risk-taking things that got them that resiliency to make them more socially healthy. So until next time, you guys, remember, follow us on all social media podcasts, on all social media and on all podcasts that you listen to. Give us a review if you like. If not, that's cool too. Share the reels that we post. And until next time, be cool. No story there?